the #1 destination in the county. Eliminating rooms isn't going to change that. The Coastal Act states the visitor serving is the #1 priority. I suggest eliminate or reduce fees for those inns that are over the cap and let them go through the permit process so we can get on with our lives. Those inns who want the status quo, there is no entitlement for anybody. If they provide the product and service that the people are looking for, the money will take care of itself. Anyway, as bad as our old properties have been perceived by some, they have contributed over $10 million in dollars to the county over their short lives. And anyway, the last thing I want to point, where is the concern for helping the small business person? That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Monty. Next speaker, Susan M. Smith.
I'm Sue Smith at 910 Pine Street in Mendocino. And in listening to all this conversation and Supervisor Colfax saying that he had only received this data a few days ago, imagine how most people in Mendocino feel. They've not received any of this data. They haven't received any reports. They haven't been consulted. Think how much time has been taken, and with the people of Mendocino who are extraordinarily interested and knowledgeable, and with a planner from the coast who is familiar with Mendocino, consider what the two together could have done with this information very swiftly, very quickly, and we would have had an update largely in place and going very quickly. So I think the process has been terrible, and I think the people of Mendocino have been treated really shockingly. And I'll just mention right at the beginning, when this planning team formed in the spring, why didn't they come to Mendocino and inform them of what they intended to do? There would have been so much good information right away. They floundered. Their data is inconclusive. The direction, I think it's a misdirected planning team, and they're not familiar, obviously, in my opinion, with coastal issues. They haven't had the experience. I mean, we have had wonderful planners on the coast, and consider the Mendocino Town Plan was approved in '92 by the Board of Supervisors. It was approved by the Coastal Commission. They understood it. They didn't find it confusing because they would have straightened it out. And similarly, the CACs were admired on the coast, and they gave excellent information, and that the latest CAC recommendation, which was supported by the planning staff on the coast, why that wasn't the starting place for this project. It's just a waste, because I don't believe any of the information that has been provided allows you to go forward one step before the people of Mendocino have been consulted. I mean, that's just a preliminary part of good government, of openness. And as I said, I'm simply astonished at this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Leslie Wahlquist, followed by Gail Daly.
Hi, I'm Leslie Wahlquist. I live at 44900 Little Lake Road in Mendocino. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed having listened to all of this today, but I do want to make a couple of points. One of them is, when we left here last time, the idea that the planning team would be coming to Mendocino and we would have an opportunity for more input in this situation and to involve more residents and community members was really encouraging to me. And the fact that that didn't happen was disappointing. I think that it does need to happen. And I think that there's a lot going on in Mendocino that the review team needs to look at. There are residences that are being rented out by the week or by the night in some cases. And there are inns that are renting a lot more rooms than we have accounted for in these facts and tables. There are also a lot of vacation rentals that haven't given up their permits when they were sold. So I don't think we have an accurate count that we could move ahead at this point. My opinion is the illegal rooms that are being rented without permits should be identified and fined and brought under compliance. I don't think that the fact that they pay their transient occupancy taxes absolves them from, being fined and identified. They are not supposed to be running those inns, those rooms, and it puts the inns that are complying with the rules at a disadvantage, and that shouldn't be the case. The occupancy rate of our rental units in Mendocino, I believe, is less than 60%. And it seems obvious to me that at this point we don't need any more rental permits. The committees in the past that were formed to assess the town plan, I would like to see them consulted as well, and the documents that they prepared consulted for the review process that's going on now. I don't know if that's been done, but I don't think that it has. So I urge you not to move forward on the update today. The information is incomplete, and I think the consequences of making decisions based on these facts will be detrimental to the community. In my opinion, it's not about financial gain. As a full-time resident in Mendocino, to me,